Good evening to all. Welcome to the today's session. Today we are going to discuss about RSA algorithm from Unit 3. Let us see the introduction. This RSA algorithm was developed by Ron Rivest, Adi Shamir, and Len Adelman. They have developed this algorithm. So from their names, the first character Rivest, Shamir, Adelman or SA. They given that name, that algorithm name as a RSA algorithm. It is a block cipher, so which converts the plain text into the ciphertext and vice versa at receiver side is happened. See here, these are the steps. In these 8 steps, we are going to learn how this RSA algorithm works. So these 8 steps we will discuss now one by one, and we right. Let us see the step 1. Select two prime numbers p and q where p is not equal to q. In this RSA algorithm process, so there are 8 steps. The first step is select any two prime numbers p and q where p is not equal to q. Okay. So for this, here I am considering two prime numbers p is equal to 13 and q is equal to 11. Okay, step 1. So see here, p is not equal to q, this condition. Okay, and let us see the step 2. Calculate n equals to p into q. If you multiply these two, so that is the value of n. In step 2, you can observe here p value is 13, q value is 11. We are multiplying the both. So the value is 143, that is assigned to n. n is equals to 143. And in step 3, calculate phi of n is equals to p minus 1 into q minus 1. Step 3. See here, phi of n is equals to, just we are substituting these values in this formula. The p value is 13 minus 1 and q value is 11, 11 minus 1. So sorry, here mistake. It is 11. Q value is 11. So it is 11 minus 1. Okay. So 13 minus 1, 12 into 10, 120. So the phi of n is equals to 120. Right. And then fourth step. Select E such that E is relatively prime to phi of n. It means you can see here E comma phi of n is equals to E, that 1 is less than E less than q of n. Okay. So we are selecting one prime value here. See, that value is 13. So for E we are selecting the 13. Okay. So after that, after selecting that E value, we are finding the GCD of these two, 13 comma 120. 13 is what? E comma phi of n. E means 13, phi of n is Phi of n is 120. Just now we calculated in step 3. So if you perform GCD 13 comma 120, what we will get? We will get 1. Okay. So these are the 4 steps. Now see the 5th step. Calculate d equals to e power minus 1 mod phi of n, or ed equals to 1 mod phi of n. So this is the formula. See here, we have to find the d. E into d mod phi of n is equal to 1. So this one is changed like this. This formula is changed like this. Now E into D. E value we already know that it is 13. D we don't know. Mod of phi of n. Phi of n we already find it in the previous steps. So the phi of n value is 120. Okay, we substituted in this formula 13 into D mod 120 is equals to 1. Then how to find this means, so we are making D as a subject and we are changing this formula. See here, now it will become, if you make D as a subject, D equals to phi of n into I plus 1 by E. So this formula, when you made D as a subject, it will become like this. D is equals to phi of n into I plus 1 by E. See here, we need to find out this D value by substituting these values in this formula. Phi of n is 120 plus, here we are considering let I is equals to 1. See here, let I is equals to 1. 120 plus 1 divided by 13. What is this 13? E value. Okay, how much you will get? You will get 9.30. In decimal value you will be getting. No. So you have to continue this formula substitution till you get the integer value. Integer value. It should not be decimal. So again we are taking the next step. I is equals to 2. We are substituting this I is equals to 2 in this formula. The output is 18.53. So again we got the decimal value. We are taking I is equals to 3. Doing the same process again. Still it is decimal 27.76. And then when I is equals to 4, then we got the integer value 37. Okay, now we stop this process. So in a 5th step we calculated the value for D. Okay, and then 6th step, see public key is equals to E comma N set, private key is equals to D comma N. Okay, this it is very simple. See here, 13 comma 143. It's a public key. Based on these values we substituted here, and private key is D comma N. What is D value? Previous step. D value is 37, right? See, we substituted that 37 comma 143. N value is 143. 6th step is finished. Now come to the 7th step. Find out either text using the formula. Find out ciphertext using the formula. So how to find the ciphertext? That you can observe here. C is equals to P raised to E mod N, where P is less than N. So that you can see here, the plain text is 13 where P is less than N. So we are taking the plain text as 13 here. What is N value? 143. So it is less than, this condition satisfies. Now you can see here, C is equals to P power E mod N. P, we took it as a 13. E value is also 13. 13 power 13. Mod N value is 143. See, if you calculate this, you will get the value 52. How much? 52. So this is the ciphertext value. The C is equals to 52. So now we got the ciphertext value. So in the eighth step is for performing the decryption, that is P is equals to C power D mod N. The plain text P can be obtained using this given formula, decryption key. See here, P is equals to C raised to D mod N. What is C? Just now we calculated 52. 52 power D value is 37. In the fifth step we calculated that. So mod 143, you will get 13. That is the plain text. Okay. So these are the 8 steps to follow in a RSA algorithm to calculate or to find out the process. See here, these are the 8 steps we were discussed one by one, and we finally seen the work process of RSA algorithm. Clear? Once again, I repeat the steps. Select 2 prime numbers. You can select any 2 prime numbers, but the condition here to check is P should be not equal to Q. And in the second step, we have to perform N is equals to P into Q. Third step, we have to calculate phi of N value. For that, P formula is there, P minus 1 into Q minus 1. And in step 4, you are going to find out the here one polynomial value we are taking E, and then you have to find out the GCD between these two. So for the E we have taken 13, and then we have performed the GCD, the value is 1. And then fifth step, here we calculated the D in this formula. So when you are calculating the D, you have to repeat this till you get the integer value by substituting the I values that we have done. In the sixth step, just we have substituted in a public key set and a private key set. In a seventh step, we will find it ciphertext, that value is C is equals to 52. And in the eighth step, we were performed the decryption. So we got the plain text, that is P is equal to 30. Next one, these security factors in RSA algorithm. So the first one is brute force attack. See here, brute force attack means trying with all possible cases of private keys. If any one key matches, they simply attack RSA algorithm. So there are some opportunities to perform attack on RSA algorithm. In that, the first case is brute force attack. So what is this means? They will try with all possible cases of private keys. If somehow in their lucky, if they matches, if the key matches, so they can simply attack the RSA algorithm. So what we need to do to overcome this problem? So to overcome this, we have to choose a key size is large. So then we can overcome this situation. And the next second one is mathematical attack. What is that? Mathematical attack. So mathematical attack means, so here they will find the factoring of n. So what is the n? N is the product of two prime numbers. So this is everyone knows, because the value of n, what is the value of n is what? Public. See, when it is public, it is open to all. And what they try to do, they will try to do the factors for the n. See, if the factors are identified, then we can calculate easily the p minus 1 and the q minus 1. So when we find the p minus 1 and q minus 1, based on this, we can get the e value and d value. So what is happening here? It attacks the RSA algorithm. Okay, that is mathematical attack. So they are trying to find the factoring of n. So how they know the n means n is a public. After that, they are trying for the factors. If the factors identified, then the problem starts. Then they can calculate the p minus 1, q minus 1. Based on those values, they can easily get a e value and d value. So their attack is happening on that. That is mathematical attack. And third one is timing attack. So what is this? See, the attackers identifies the running time of the algorithm. So how much time? So it will run. So especially the running time of the decryption algorithm, to reduce these attacks, we have some possible cases. So if they identify the running time, there is a chance of attack. So to overcome that problem, what to do? The first one is constant exponential time. What do you mean by this constant exponential time? Means to the original time, we will add some fixed time, or we can say the constant time, to make that it is difficult to identify by the attackers. Say for example, it completes in 3 milliseconds, we will add 2 milliseconds extra. So what it will become? It will become 5 milliseconds. So like that, we will try to give some additional fixed time. So add some fixed delay to each and every algorithm, but it also degrades the performance. Because of this, we are trying to make that, we are trying to avoid the attack, but the problem arises here is the performance will be reduced. So unnecessarily we are making that delay. Okay, so here the performance comes down. That is the first case. The first case is we are giving the common time. If it is 2 microseconds, if it is 2 milliseconds or 2 seconds, the time we are giving common to the everyone. But the second case is random delay. A random delay means we are not giving the common time, just we are giving a different timings to the different, so that we make them to avoid the attacks. And the third case is blinding. Blinding means multiply the ciphertext with some random number to modify the time. So here, if the original time is there, there is a chance of the attackers to attack the time. So we are somehow trying to change the time by giving some additional timings in these 3 cases. Okay, right. And then the fourth one, RSA security, in RSA security factors, that is chosen ciphertext attack. What is that? Chosen ciphertext attack. So here it exploits the properties of RSA algorithm. Based on the ciphertext, the attackers will attack. Okay. So because it is giving the properties of the RSA algorithm. So based on that, the attackers will trying to attack. So these are the four possibilities in this RSA algorithm where the attack can be performed on this RSA algorithm. One is brute force attack, second one is mathematical attack, third one is timing attack, and fourth one is chosen cipher attack. Okay.